All right. Lastly, Chelsea Manning was on Brian Stetler's program this weekend. She has subjected herself to real deprivation as a function of protecting WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. And I do think that there is a fundamental difference between WikiLeaks of the era when they released the material that Chelsea Manning had acquired, 2010, 2011, I guess, and what WikiLeaks has become in many respects. They've become far too involved in pursuing a specific agenda.
Too much into Donald Trump's DMs.
Oh, yeah. You mean there's difference between civilians being gunned down in Iraq and what Hillary Clinton had for lunch yesterday?
Exactly. And look, I think that even in the context of putting out that those documents, I think it was really more the mechanism and the way that they did it rather than, frankly, them doing it. I mean, I understand they're an information liberating agency, and I think I think there's some question about that, but I have very little doubt that the cables that they released and the video that they released wasn't worthy of news reports, and I frankly, you can look at the era from 2011 to 2016 and how many news reports were based on that information. But here is Chelsea Manning saying that the executive branch, especially Trump, wants to attack journalists and will use the judiciary as a rubber stamp. She is out of prison because the grand jury ended that was looking into Julian Assange. There will be another one that will be started, though. They run out their term and then they bring in another one. And she very well may end up back in prison for the duration of that term of that grand jury.
God.
Do you view the prosecution of Assange as a threat to press freedom?
I mean, I think that the Eastern District of Virginia is now turning into a rubber stamp for all these different prosecutions that really are going after, and I think that ultimately what they really want is they want to go after journalists. This administration clearly wants to go after journalists. I think that if the administration gets its way, as it's laid out, in repeated statements, like the media is the enemy of the people kind of thing, then I think that we're going to see that national security journalists and a lot of disruptive for this administration press. We're probably going to see indictments and charges perhaps indirectly related. And the average American commits there's so many federal offenses. The average American commits 3 felonies a day. So whenever a journalist makes a misstep, I think that they're put on notice now that the FBI and the Department of Justice are going to go after them on the administration's behalf.
And I don't know what those 3 felonies a day, but they could be, ranging from taking tags off of a mattress. But
terms of service sorts of things.
Yes, it's quite possible. Here is where she explains why she may return to jail after May 16th.
And what about you? You're due back on Thursday.
Yes.
Another subpoena for another grand jury.
Yes.
What's going to happen?
Well, they're asking this. They've already stipulated they want to ask the same questions. So this is not about anything new. They're not even asking anything new. I've already laid all of this out.
So you're going to refuse again?
I am going to refuse. I think that this grand jury is I think that all grand juries are improper. I don't like the secrecy of it. One of the reasons why there was so much secrecy and speculation and so much hand wringing over the Mueller report was because of the secrecy. We would know far more if we would just have public hearings, bring the stuff out there, and and I testified, before an open court with all these journalists there. I have nothing new to provide.
But they want to hear from you again. That's the law. Will you be back in jail next weekend?
Will I be? It's going to depend on we certainly have a motion to quash. We're certainly going to raise every single legal challenge. We have we have a very strong case, and we had a strong case previously, but now we have additional evidence as to like what our case is.
So it's up in the air. We don't know if you'll be sentenced to jail or not again.
We don't, but I think that we have a much stronger case in terms of like the legal objections, which the previous judge refused to even hear. He refused to even hear them or act on the motions. He just simply placed me in contempt and ignored our motions.
There you go.
God, I don't think anyone would blame Chelsea Manning at this point if she were to seek asylum in another country, at least until Trump isn't president anymore, or she has some kind of offer to come back. Like, she suffered so much already.
It's unbelievable to me, but very brave.